Hi, this is David McCann for WebTNG. In this short video, I'm taking a look at a new feature they're bringing to the Elementor editor, version 4 of Elementor. Elementor's new class-first workflow. There's a slight problem with that, with their implementation, and I want to highlight it so that the Elementor developer team is aware of the issue and why it's important, I think, to address it now while the new feature is in beta. I'm on the Elementor website and their blog. They have a post here about the features coming in the new version 4. I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit. You'll see they have a lot of nice features. And here we see they are giving us the ability to work more directly with CSS. Okay, there are CSS variables, classes, and states. Being able to work closely with CSS is a feature of modern WordPress page builders and with website builders in general. So I'm really happy to see Elementor moving in this direction. And I want to give a shout out to Joshua Gungan Sayagan, who pointed out this issue in the Dynamic WordPress Facebook group. But I want to show you the issue, the hiccup in their implementation. I have here a testing site. All I've got installed is the beta version of Elementor. And I've enabled the new feature. So let's go and add a page. And I'll publish it. And let's go edit that page with Elementor. When you have the new Elementor editor, they have this thing called atomic elements. These are basically HTML elements that you can add to your pages to work with HTML and CSS directly. Very cool. Okay, let's just add a div. And inside the div, let's add a heading. Then let's add some text. And then let's add a button. Okay, you can see the button is problematic, right? It's right up against the text and wording on the button is difficult to see. So let's fix this. We'll do it by creating a CSS class. And I'll name the class DCM, those are my initials, button. I'll hit enter. And now we've created the class and it's selected. So any CSS styles that we add here will be applied to our class. Okay, so let's add some space to the top and the bottom of our button. Then let's make the text white. And then let's go to the border and let's give it a radius so we have rounded corners. So here's our button, and all of the changes we've made have been attached to our class. Right, and Elementor has a class manager here, which is pretty cool. So we can click on that and we can go see our class. See, here's our class here. And there's a feature here where you can rename the class or delete it. Let's go out of the class manager. Let's add now another button. Okay, and we see it's not styled. So let's give the new button the class, and voila, all the styling is automatically applied. So we've saved a lot of work by using Elementor's new class first workflow. And this is nice. So let's save it. Now, here's where the disconnect comes in, where the problem comes in. Let's go and exit the editor and let's view this page on the front end of the site. Okay, great. It looks just like it did in the editor. Love it. Let's go and inspect. Very clean output. Here's our div. Here's our heading. Here's our text. And here are our two buttons. Now, one problem though is, where is the class? Remember, I created a class called DCM-button. The class name we applied to the buttons in the editor isn't output on the front end. So I went to the GitHub account for Elementor, which is where they take developer feedback on the free version, and I saw in an issue where they commented that they don't output the class name that we gave the class that when we created it. They don't output that on the front end to make it easier to allow users to rename classes. I think that's a big hiccup. The name that we give the class in the editor should be output on the front end. Now, people who've created websites from scratch, that is with code, would absolutely expect to see the class name here, because that's the point. We're working with the HTML and CSS when we're working with the atomic elements. Never in a million years would it occur to me not to output the class name on the front end, okay? Because with the atomic elements, we're working directly with the HTML and CSS. So the fact that Elementor doesn't output that on the front end is very odd. And when you're troubleshooting and trying to find what went wrong, if your styling is not working the way you're expecting, first thing you're going to do is you're going to come into the source code. You're going to inspect the source of the page. You're going to look for your class name so you can find where the element is that you're having problems with. So not only did we create the class and so expect to see it, but it's also a useful tool when troubleshooting. So I was thinking, how could this happen? And what I came to is that for someone who's creating a builder and only thinking about this view, then having the class name in the source may not be important. But of course, for a front-end developer, it's natural and important. It's just like having an H2 tag or a P tag or a button tag. So I hope that the Elementor developers are able to change course on this issue before it comes out of beta. So that's been my look at a disconnect in the Elementor implementation of CSS classes. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.